Hey nail friends, I have super thin, weak nails genetically. They're just always like that. And um, a long time ago, I smashed this finger, and it develops a vertical split, especially um, when the weather gets colder and my skin gets drier. And it recently got snagged on something, and I ripped it down, and for about 3 weeks I kept the Orly repair kit, which is like acrylic powder and super glue. I kept that on here, and it kept the split together. But yesterday the edge of it flaked off after 3 weeks. I mean, that stuff really is amazing if you don't have like an ongoing problem, which I do. So I was at a restaurant when this happened, so I couldn't really stop and fix it right away. So the product flaked off, and then I had to stick my hands in my pockets to, get my phone or put my phone away. And by the time I got home, it was really ripped, and I just clipped it back. And today I'm going to try and do a little tiny mini extension. I don't really care for long nails. I think they're beautiful, but for my lifestyle, it's really impractical. And I accidentally created an extension on this nail the other day when I was putting a little gel nail tip over it, and I was using a solid nail glue because the McCart solid nail glue, let's see, what is it? Just putting this over it to glue the nail on, and it was a different brand of nail that I hadn't used before. And when I went to cut it, I don't know if I just did it too soon after curing, but it just popped right off. In the past, I've used this to glue a different brand of nails on, and it worked great. Some of the longest lasting glue I've used, not that I've used much. In fact, on my thumbnail, on my left hand, underneath this rubber overlay, there's still some of that glue underneath, and under that there's some tiny bit of acrylic. I'm pretty new to doing any kind of extension or overlay on my nails, and I got impatient one day and glued a nail on with this glue after having filed for quite a while and not really knowing how to use my files. I glued a nail on with this glue. I've since filed it off, but it's a really gummy glue. It's hard to remove, and even after, I don't know, 45 minutes of filing, it still didn't come off. So eventually I just put a rubber overlay on it, and this stuff is not coming off my thumb. It did pop off my finger back when I first tried it on my thumb. I did it the same thing on my finger. My fingernail is much more flexible than my thumbnail, so I think the free edge will frequently flex away from whatever product I have on. And this time when I put this little tiny nail on, and I cut everything to shorter just because I don't want to snag and accidentally make things pop off. So I cut it shorter, and it popped off, and it was a beautiful little tiny extension, and from what had squeezed out over the edge, and it very slightly encapsulates the free edge of my natural nail. So I think this is going to stay on, and I just put some rubber-based gel over top just for some color, because I didn't like the way the color was. It was just kind of weird looking, kind of clear at the edge, and fake looking at the over the nail bed. Anyway, I'm gonna try today to do a little extension with this Macart Glux gel, 4-in-1 Glux gel. I don't know what Glux means. It is not a soak-off gel, but supposedly it's HEMA-free, and I don't have a gel allergy, but I do try, to keep anything like that off my skin, and I'm certainly not perfect at it, but I give it a shot. And I do like to use some HEMA-free products when I can. So I'm going to use this to try and build an extension. But before I do that, I'm going to use a couple of products on the nails that I don't have anything on today. First, I'm going to use IBX Repair, and then I'll use IBX Strength. And I've had these for a long, long time. I've heard great reviews on them. I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference in the strength of my nails, but I like to do it just maybe as a preventative measure, just because I have such naturally thin and weak nails that are prone to splitting and breaking and not being beautiful like I would like. So let's see, I've already cleansed my nails, but I might have touched something, so I'm gonna give them a cleanse again. And I just use, let's see, 99% alcohol. I got that on Amazon. I get most of my stuff. And just get those good and clean. And then I'll apply this repair. And I'll be pausing a lot in the interim, because the process for this requires some heating up of the nail. I don't have, they recommend either an incandescent light, which I don't have any incandescent light bulbs anymore. Everything's LED. But they also say a hairdryer will work, and that's kind of loud. But I have to put the hairdryer on my hand for several minutes for each layer of these products. And I'll put one layer of the repair down and 2 layers of strength. And there's quite a lot of waiting around time while I'm holding the blow dryer on my fingers. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Just curing my nails for 60 seconds. I think I might have to get a different holder for my phone. It's very shaky. If I bump it at all, everything just shimmies and shakes. We'll see if I can make this a little more stable, or at least pay a little closer attention to when I bump the holder. Just got the first one that came up on Amazon that was under $20. It's kind of flimsy. the repair is done curing, and I think I used that one for blotting, so let me get a clean one. And let's see, just get that rub, and that's the first step, repair. I already applied the repair, so now I'm going to go in with the strength. Got a little too much on my brush. This stuff is very runny, and I do want to keep it away from my sidewalls and my free edge, or from the cuticle area, I mean, just so it doesn't run all over my skin. Okay. Gonna hit it with the blow dryer again, and I'll be back. All right, so the instructions say to blot, and then cure for 60 seconds. Rearrange some things so I can reach my lamp. And cure for 60 seconds, and then cleanse. So I'll be right back. All right, that was the first application of strength, and blot. And stick it in the lamp. I got these lint-free wipes off of Amazon. They're the McCart brand. I've liked a lot of the McCart things that I've purchased. I'm not sure if these are my favorite. They're supposed to be lint-free nail wipes, and depending on what I'm doing, I can get some lint. Some combination of acetone can leave a residue on my nails, so not entirely lint-free as far as I can tell. It doesn't always happen, but I've got 1,000 of them, so I gotta use them up. All right, so I'm gonna cleanse. Apply another coat of the strength. And let's see, I'll wipe that brush a little more. It's very runny. Get it really clean and maybe get into my cuticle area just a little bit. All right. And there we go. So I can tell in this light, after applying that, you can see right here where it gets starts getting a little darker. So my first experience with an e-file, and I pretty much overfiled all of my nails. I'm gonna grab another wipe and just try and get that. I got really excited about doing my nails again after 8 years. I was going to use hard gel, and I'm pretty good with my hands and doing crafts and stuff, so I thought, I'll have no problem doing the filing with an e-file. And essentially I could not see when to stop this hard overlay that I had, which on most of my nails lasted just fine, but on my dominant hand, I had lifting at the free edge, like always. So I ended up doing quite a bit of damage, and now I'm just trying to recover from that and protect my nails as much as possible. So I don't do a lot of buffing or prep work when I'm doing anything on my nails. I just push my cuticles back and maybe very lightly hit them with a buffer or something, maybe. But the edges, the surface is already quite rough from all the damage I've done, so I hope that's enough. And I'm getting better at my application, and sometimes even by like an accident. With this one, I make a little extension and things turn out really well, like with I covered the free edge of this nail quite a bit with the glue, so I think that one turned out really nice. I'm just so happy with it. All right, I'm gonna blow dry these nails again, and this time it calls for 2 minutes, so I'll be back. Off the excess. And into my lamp. So now I need to cleanse, and I've basically worked on a PC my whole life. I'm a computer programmer, and I'm just really familiar with all the tools on my computer, and using a mouse I'm just much more comfortable than trying to slide things around with my finger on my phone. So let's see. Did have some overruns there, but hopefully that won't cause any issues. Okay, I am going to try to use, let me grab it from behind me over here on my other desk. I'm going to try and use a nail form to protect this nail while I do, just to keep the glue from getting on my skin right there. I've never used a nail form before. It's probably plainly obvious. I've watched some videos and they say to curve it, and let's see, get that. Keep sticking to me. I need to get that tucked up under my free edge, and I'm not really sure how I was going to use. I was going to try and cut this to cover that section up. What do I need to do there? All right, so if I cut just a little rectangle here, I think that will do it. I'm a little too deep. I don't know if this is helpful or what I should be doing, but I live in a really small town, and None of the nail places have great reviews. They're all... I'm always afraid of overfiling or damage. You hear horror stories. Of course, I immediately did that to myself, so, you know, hundreds of women go to the nail salon. I just, I guess I've always had a DIY ethos and rather try things at home than go out and, I don't know, I'm a nerd and an introvert, and it's difficult for me to just feel so awkward. I joke I'm an awkward bitch. Anyway, I work at home, and this is I'm trying to open this Glux glue. Glux, I'm not sure how you say it. Kind of a weird name for the glue. And that's crazy. This has been stored upright, and I don't know exactly how this happened the other day when I opened it up as well. It's very, very stiff. And I'm gonna get a glove on my right hand, so I can, just so I don't get any of this stuff on me. And I should probably put on, I'm trying to be better about, you know, protecting myself. So I'm going to try and put on a UV light here. Let's see if I can do it with this sticker on. Probably should have done that first. Again, hey, I did it. Look, I got 2 fingers in the same one. There we go. So UV, so I don't do UV damage to my fingers and hands. And I'll get a nitro glove for my other hand. All right. Let's see. Do I really want to use this glue today? Or should I just put a rubber overlay? I know this cure is really hard, and I'm not sure. I haven't done anything with an extension, and I don't really want a huge extension. I just want to smooth out that edge right here so it's uniform, and so I don't catch it on things. And just, I mean, this is the first time I've had it ripped so far down where I have the nail bed exposed. It's just kind of a little bit tender there. Well, I know that this stuff really works. It's just it's very sticky. It lasts. Just never know what's going to be the best choice. Maybe I should do, you know what? Maybe I should just do an extension with regular glue. I've got a couple of nail glues I haven't tried. Not a regular extension, a jelly tip. And then I could use the brand I've used before instead of trying to do this form that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking. I generally have an internal monologue going on all the time, and I'm trying to externalize that for video. I've really enjoyed the people that I've watched on YouTube. I've learned a lot, and working at home, it's just been kind of nice to have some of that stuff on in the background so I can learn about other people's lives and what they do and how they do nail art. You know what? I think I'm just not. This sticker makes me annoyed. It just feels weird. So I'm going to get a couple of other things out here. I need to grab let's see, some nail tips. I've really liked these. I got lucky. This was the first brand I tried on Amazon when I first learned about gel extensions just a few weeks ago. Mostly I've been painting nails and putting them on nail stands. Let's see, what size is this? I think that's a 6. Yeah, that's a 6. So that's the size I need for my middle finger there. Worked out. Let's see how it fits. That'll be all right. So I have the tiniest, shortest nail beds. This is an extra short nail tip, and it's to me, when I apply these, they still feel really long. I don't care to have it go much past the edge of my fingertip. I suppose I'll get, I really love beautiful long nails, but for me, practically, it just doesn't work. Okay, so I think that will work. So these are pre-etched. That's why I bought them. I don't need to file them or prime them. What am I going to apply next? I'm going to get, because I have such problems with lifting, I'm going to, let's see, I have some dehydrator here. This is just it's from Revel Nail. It's quite old. About 8 years ago, I got really into gel nails, and I could never, eventually they were too damaged. I couldn't even get a couple of days of wear, and it takes so long to apply gel nails. So I just stopped doing nails altogether. I don't know why I gave up regular nail polish, but I just put it away. That's what I was looking for. Young Nails Protein Bond. Everybody recommends this to get things to stick. So hopefully this will help everything stick. I get impatient sometimes when I'm I don't have a lot of free time during the week, but a couple of times I've had enough time to put something on my nails, but not the, I don't know, not do proper prep, and then I get impatient because they're so weak and bendy, and I just slap something on there and don't do cuticle prep or anything. So this week I've been just trying to do better at not being impatient and skipping steps, and like if I was having a problem with this my index finger, and I remembered to do all the things that I've just done, which was put the IBX on, and use the dehydrator, and use the protein bond, which I've had this, again, for 8 years at least, back when I was doing them before. somebody must have recommended this, and I was, of course, immediately had nail lifting problems, even though my nails were extremely healthy. And so started reading and watching videos and seeing what people recommended, and the protein bond gets mentioned all the time. So I went to Amazon, and their website said I had already purchased it. So I looked through my drawer, and lo and behold, I had some. So hopefully it doesn't expire. And I'm just waiting to let that dry. I don't know if it needs to dry. It doesn't really come with instructions, but I figure let's let that dry for a good minute. And I have a couple of different nail glues that I want to try. And I've been doing this on each nail to try and figure out what products are going to work best for me. And I have Amazon has so much more nail stuff now than they did 8 years ago. So I've already used the Glux on the McCart Glux on my index finger. And on this finger, I have just a rubber-based gel. And it's, let's see if I can find it. Emily rubber-based gel in RB 435. And essentially, I had 10 days, a good 10 days of wear, and I really did no prep, nothing proper. Just put on a coat of this rubber base and then top coated it, and it lasted for a good 10 days. And then I started getting a little lifting at the free, well, just all around. And so I gently used a hand file and just buffed it all down until it was thinner, and applied a new coat Thursday night. It's Saturday morning right now. I applied a new coat Thursday night, and then also I just covered this nail with a very thin coat because I'd done this nail on Tuesday. So I'm finding I'm much more okay with walking around with half-done nails, I guess. It helps me take the time to do things properly if I only have to do one. And so anyway, all right, so I think that's dry enough, and I'm going to try a couple of things. So the first nail, I'm going to use this Unigella Innovative Solid State Nail Glue. And I haven't even opened this. What does it say here? File your nail bed and clean the nails. Apply the glue gel on the tips. Press the nail tips on the nail. Make sure no bubble, and press on well. Curing the glue gel 40 to 60 seconds. Make sure to keep pressing on when curing the nails. So what I'll probably need to do is get out a little tiny lamp so I can get my fingers in there to flash cure them while holding the nail in place. So let's see. I bought, so the first thing I bought a few weeks ago was a Beatles nail kit, because that was the first review I ran into on Amazon. Okay. And then the glue was very runny, and I never used the glue or the tips. The ones I bought were too long. A medium for me is just entirely too long. but I do like this little light. It's very, very handy. You stick your finger in it and it immediately turns on, and you can get both the finger and another hand in there to hold it against you now. I don't know why I'm filing this. I'll probably cut it down, but all right, so I just got that little nub off the edge from where it's attached. Let's get this box open. Oh, is there some words there? What does that say? Unicella always supports all let's see, I gotta, the way the light's shining on that, I can't read it. Let's see. Unicella always supports all underpinned confidence, unfailing love, unloose beauty, nature. Not entirely sure what that all means, but oh, here we have the ingredients. I like to see sometimes on videos, I like it when they pause and show the ingredients. Sometimes on Amazon you can't find them. So this has acrylates, copolymer, 2-hydroxyethyl methyl acrylate, 2,4,6 trimethyl benzoyl diphenyl, phosphine oxide, hydroxy cyclohexyl phenylketone, and fumed silica. I'm not 100% sure. Not sure if any of those are HEMA, maybe the hydroxyethyl methyl acrylate. I'll have to look that up. Sometimes they say HEMA and sometimes they use the actual chemical name. Either way, we want to keep it off our skin, which I don't do a great job of sometimes. All right, so innovative solid state nail glue soak off for nail tips. No seal. And let's see, you're supposed to apply it to the tip, but I don't know. Oh, that's kind of got an odor. I'm going to apply it to my nail. I think that works a little better for me. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try 2 different glues today. I'm going to use this Unicella, and then on my other finger, this one. Actually, no, I'm just going to use this one. I'll do a rubber overlay on that nail. I don't need to put an extension on it. It's long enough for me. I'm fine with that. All right. Does that look like enough glue? Maybe a little extra right there. Going at a 45-degree angle. Oh, I might need more glue. Okay. I just have super flat nail beds, and although these, Alyssa, I think that's how you say it, tips fit pretty well. need some glue in there to fill in the space. Okay, that looks better. Get a brush to clean up some of that excess, I guess, before I cure it. A little bit too much. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it everywhere. This does not, it's very sticky, very slippery. Flash cured that. I've made a huge mess all over my hands, all over my finger. So get this cleaned up as quick as possible. Give that a full cure now. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if those are air bubbles in there or what. Hopefully this was a good application and it'll stay adhered. I don't know how anybody gets these on themselves without getting getting it on their skin. I mean, that seems like it's literally impossible. I have some cuticle cleanup bits, so I might do that, but I don't have a nail dust collector, so the way I do that is I wear a mask and do the filing over the hose of my vacuum. I just don't want to get that, I don't want to breathe in the dust, and I don't want to just get it everywhere in my room. So I'll probably do some cleanup with that off camera. No fun hearing the vacuum. And I'll probably cut this down as well. But, so this is, really only the second or third time I've actually applied an extension with gel. The first things I did was use regular super glue, or not regular nail glue. Anyway, but what else do I have that I can try that I haven't used yet? I bought some, just a few really high-end things. When I first heard about like doing hard gel overlays, and then that led me to these gel X dupe extensions. Anyway, so the first thing I bought was a Cocoist Trinity, no, that's Accents Trinity gel, which on most of my fingers lasted just fine, but on my dominant hand, I had lifting at the free edge on my index, middle, and ring finger after 8 days. So I guess that's not too bad, but because it can't be soaked off and I'm inexperienced with an e-file, I caused myself a lot of damage. I should have been far more cautious. And I was watching some other videos on what I should do, and I got this Cocoist Mega Stick Base Soft Gel. And for that I'll need, let's see, I've got some alcohol. And I get a brush to apply it. Just got a number 6 brush from Amazon. I think these are gel brushes. They don't look like, or maybe they're just art brushes. I'm not sure. They don't look anything like acrylic brushes, and I've had these for years. I really like applying gel with them when, especially if I'm trying to get like a super thin layer. I find these brushes are much easier to use. And in fact, I really like this number. I've used this number 2 one a lot. Maybe I'll use that today. That's pretty big. And I don't know. I'm not very precise, so smaller is better. So I haven't used this. I opened this up the other day for the first time. I bought it a couple weeks ago. But then I had discovered all these jelly tips and G-Lux glue and other things, so I didn't get around to it, and I had so much damage I was just afraid to do anything. So I cut for a week or two. I don't know. I used super glue and applied some extensions that way. Now I'm trying to have something last a little bit longer on my nails. And then I kind of sized up some of my tips, and I've been painting a lot of tips with just regular nail polish so I can do some swatching. And what I want to do is find a method to semi-permanently, not even semi-permanent, like very temporarily apply the jelly tips to my nails, and then be able to take pictures for swatches. I love nail polish swatches. I live in a very rural area, and there's not a lot of nail polish choice around here. So, and even in the store, I guess nail polish can look very different on your nail versus what's in the bottle. And that's really what started all this journey. I just love seeing what everybody else wears, and I want my nails to be pretty. Let's give this a try. So Mega Stick Base. This is not a builder or a rubber, but I just want to try something a little different and see if it helps at all. I got quite a bit there. Let's see. I've watched some videos and they apply it much thicker than I've ever used to, so I'm trying to get used to that. But let's see. I need to clean that up. It's a little too close to my cuticle, and I need a really stiff brush for this. All right, so these are e.l.f. professional brushes, and everybody loves these for cuticle cleanup. And I have just a little, it's just a little bit too close to my free edge, or to my cuticle there. So I'm gonna take that and wipe it off. I think this Cocoist Mega Stick Base is HEMA-free, but we still don't want it touching the skin anywhere, because that can cause lifting. Just trying to. There we go. Look at it in the magnifying glass, see if I missed anything. Just a little bit right under my nail there. Okay, I was using this one. I'm just gonna try and get the this for the longevity. You're supposed to wrap the edge. Okay. And I'll get it from all angles. Oh no, looks like I have a bare spot right there. Okay, I'm gonna let that maybe self-level a little bit. Not sure if it's necessary, but I'm looking under my magnifying glass again. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to give it a cure. I think I'll just go in with this Emily again. I really like it. I like the color. I have another brand of rubber base coat from FZ Nest. I don't know why I bought this color. It's milky pink, and I know that I think cool pinks don't look great on my skin, with my skin tone. I was reading a thread on Reddit or, I don't know, Facebook maybe, about using a pink base coat when you're filing, and then you'll be able to see it when you get down close to your natural nail. And the person probably said they used the milky pink and it showed up really well. Just taking off my glove. And I've used it on these two fingers, and it's been about a week. I have a little bit of lifting right there on this nail, and maybe a little bit right there. It's lasted pretty well. These obviously are not super used fingers, but whenever I always have lifting, it's always right here and right here and right here. But this has been a week, and I didn't apply it thick like I see some videos do, so I'll be replacing this later today. I'll gently file this down like I did on this finger. So this is a rubber base coat, so I technically, you know, I don't need the Mega Stick base. I just really wanted to give that a try, but I just don't know what to put on top of it. All right, I think I'm just gonna do this because I really like it. And maybe the Mega Stick base will help it adhere. Not that I ever have really problems with that particular nail. So let's, didn't get quite enough on the brush. You can see this stuff is really thick. Okay, that's probably enough. Get that brush clean. And okay, so you're just supposed to float the brush around. One thing I really appreciate about these rubber gels, they're so thick that it is nearly, you know what, I forgot to do a slip layer. Darn it. Not that this seems to be having a problem going where it needs to go. But I'll just give it a slip layer. Okay. All right, and I'll load the brush up again. One of the things I really like about these rubber gels is it is nearly impossible for it to go where you don't want it to. It is not going to run into your cuticles or the sidewall unless you slip or something. It just goes where you tell it. And I'm going to drag that back a little. I'm wondering if the problems I've had on my other ring finger were due to applying it so thinly. Like maybe it actually needs to be thicker to not have that kind of lifting. And then I'm going to get some, that is not my cleanup brush. Way too much stuff there. As I was just saying, it's impossible to get it in your sidewall. This is the first time I've tried to do this on a phone and while recording. Anyway, I wonder if the problems I've had on this finger because I applied it so thinly. And I want to tip that upside down. Let's see how it looks. I still have some neck right there. It's pulling a little bit away from the free edge. Just trying to get the apex right. See how that looks. I think that looks all right. I'm going to cure it. Okay, friends, I'm back. I had to figure out how to clear off space on my phone when my computer kept telling me it couldn't import videos or photos. And I figured that was going to take a while when I finally fixed it. So I did my workout and now I'm back. I've already applied IBX, Repair and Strength, to my index and my middle finger and my thumb. And I clean my nails again. This time I'm using alcohol plus acetone because I was working out. I might have got some oil on my hands and I don't like to get them wet anytime before, as far away from applying any product as possible. I read that moisture can be a cause of lifting. I am going to apply the Fan Zest on one finger. I want to give it a good test. I didn't do as much thorough prep when I applied it to these two fingers. And like I said before, I've got just a tiny bit of lifting there. So I am going to apply this, I think, on my index finger, and then I'll apply the Emily, I think that's how you say it, on my middle and finger and thumb. So let's get this started. Again, this is very, very thick, just like the Emily. And this is Milky Pink in, let's see if they have a number, R15. I like their bottle, and I like that it has, I mean, well, I guess this one doesn't have a color in there. Never mind. On their polishes, I think they put a color in. Okay, so first, clean that brush off a little bit, and I'll apply a slip layer. I'm really shaky. This is my, let's see how I can stabilize my hand a little bit. So I'm applying this on my dominant hand with my not so great left hand. Okay, slip layer. And I'm going to flip this brush. Oh, there's still quite a lot of product on the brush right there. Just dab some on. The people that can do this fast just amaze me. Okay. Staying well away from my side walls. Flip that up, upside down. My fingers are a little, I don't know what button I hit, but all of a sudden there was no picture on my screen. It stopped working. So now I've got a little something right there. And while I was trying to fix it, I managed to bump the gel on my finger. Let's see, I'm just going to drag this around, see if I can't. I thought it had been looking pretty good, and I was just going to try and do a little cleanup, and then the phone stopped recording. Okay, that's pretty flat. Just a tiny bit more product. Flash cure. And, oh, everything's giving me a heat spike today, whereas I don't think I've noticed that recently. When I did my other nails, maybe my dominant fingers are more, maybe I overfiled them a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna do this Emily. See how cool that pink is compared to this Emily. No idea if I'm saying that correctly, but you get what you get. Some of the names of these Chinese products crack me up. Okay, slip layer. Let me flip that. Let's see. So I didn't really need to flip it over. Just gonna glob some on. I'm probably still applying this way thinner than what you're supposed to. But on my other thumb, I did apply it pretty thick, and it looks so bulby. I just didn't care for it. I don't know why I feel like I want to do these videos, but I just find I guess mostly I want to be helpful, and I don't see too many reviews of these Chinese products from Amazon. And I just want people to have another alternate voice talking about them, and I gotta let that run into the center. I'm going to turn this upside down and let it self-level. Let's see how that looks. Just trying to let it run so it's not too thick on one side. See if I can show you how that looks. I don't think my thumb bends that way. Anyway, really, I just want a protective layer on this. Let me give that a flash cure. And what did I do with my gel? Put away over here, away from the light. Okay, last finger. Oh, that's way too much. Do the slip layer. And glop some on there. I don't know, I'm probably applying this again too thinly, but it's what I'm comfortable with. Maybe that's why I have lifting. I apply product too sparingly. All right, move this out of the way. Let's flip that upside down and see where we're at. Just drag some back here. Protect that corner a little bit. upside down again. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, flash cure. All right. Here's my alcohol. Clean my brush off. And the 60-second cure. Oops. All right, let's try this Model 1s. I think that's how you say it. Okay, let's look at this box, see if it tells us anything. Made in China, and then they, of course, cover up all of the important information. I wonder if I can... acrylic copolymer, UV monomer, photoinitiator, cellulose acetate butyrate, polydimethyl. If there's any information under Okay, it's got the ingredients. Finish your last step with top coat. It doesn't say on the box that it was a no wipe top coat, but I'm pretty sure that this is a no wipe top coat. Keep tightly sealed. Website. Warnings. Okay, is there any instructions in the box? No. Some of them have instructions. Okay. Much longer brush than the Emily. And of course, this is a full-size bottle instead of whatever, 7.5 milliliters. Milliliters. Okay, already did this one. I'm gonna try to stop shaking, and I need to clean that brush off a little more. Okay, goes on very smoothly. I feel no drag or resistance. Oh, way too much. Get that cleaned up. Not a fan of very runny top coats. Just try, and I probably should have done this on my middle finger, but I'm just gonna try and cap that free edge. Not that there's much free edge there. And I got a little teeny bit on my skin. Let me get that cleaned off. Okay. I think I got some dust in there. Not sure. All right. I'm gonna cure both of those. So, have a good day, nail friends. That is done curing, and I know the Amalie is a no wipe top coat, and it feels like the Model Ones is as well. Doesn't say it on the box, but it said it on the description on Amazon. And so I just wanted to film a quick update on this.